What's going on, everybody? Jamie here from FMSCOUT. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at man marking. On FM20, more and more people are using man marking, and some are even labeling it as the closest thing we have to an exploit. From the first games in Championship Manager Italia, where putting 5 up front won you the game, and of course the Diablo tactic, starring Ori Freya Oscarson, scoring 5 goals per game. Most recently, guessing FM 17-18, maybe FM 16, we have had corner and throw-in exploits, but this year none have really been found. But maybe man marking might be something, and I'm going to leave you guys to be the judge of this. I'm going to give you examples, I'm going to show you how to set up man marking, what to look for when you're in a game, and most importantly, I've done 2 tests. We've done one with Everton and one with Union Berlin. Both teams have won the league in the first season using man marking. So if you are unsure about the man marking, make sure you stick around through this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. So there is a guide on FMSCOUT. The link is in the description if you want to look at it more in a text format, though I found things like this are kind of easier to show you on video. For the tactic for these 2 seasons with Union Berlin and Everton, we have chosen the NAP Fire and Water 2-3-2-1-2. The reason I've chose this tactic is because it has 2 pressing forwards and the attacking midfielder pressing, which is obviously ideal in a pressing triangle for this to work. It might work with other formations. Testing has been done on formations with 2 strikers and 1 attacking midfielder, and 2 attacking midfielders and 1 striker. We do suspect that these triangles are ideal for this year's gegenpressing match engine as well. So the thinking behind all this is to man mark by player name. The AI's deep line playmaker, that means that the one who gets the ball from the defenders when they play out from the back. But let's have a little look at a few clips now from this season already, and let's see what happens when the defenders can't find the deep line playmaker of the opposition team. So I've got you an example right here. Against Southampton, we won the game 3-1, and this is a good example of man marking in action. And this actually led to the goal. So I want you to take focus at the minute on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. This guy is currently man marking one of their players. If we press play, I've just slowed it down slightly. Let's actually speed up a little bit more. So if we go right here, let's go to medium. So what you'll see is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The guy is on man marking right now. You'll see what he does. So he's at the minute he's man marking Ward-Prowse, and he's stopping the defenders. Let's watch it again. So he's stopping the defenders from finding Ward-Prowse to instigate the attack. So if you can watch it again, so Dominic Calvert-Lewin is right here. So you can see he's man marking Ward-Prowse right now, the DLP, and it's putting them under a massive amount of pressure, which forces them to make a mistake because they cannot play out from the back. Okay, I've got another example for you against Bournemouth. We did win the game 4-3, but all eyes on Calvert-Lewin. You've also got Richarlison here as well, but Calvert-Lewin at the minute is man marking Lerma. So you can see Rico's looking for the pass for Lerma. We're going to aim to obviously man mark Lerma and push him back to their own off. So if we press play, you can see Calvert-Lewin is on the guy. It goes to Cook as well. It's still gone back to mark Lerma, and you can see the pressure comes, they force them back, and that gets a throw in for Everton. Well, that's a great example of man marking right there. A great example here, you can see Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the man marking of McGinn. He wins the ball and he instigates the attack. Watch very closely at our attack. You can see the pressure. We forced the mistake, and then we've got a nice little bit of football to show you, because the man marking, we was pressing the defence and the goalkeeper was playing it short. And you can see we have a nice little run here. Iwobi doing well on that right-hand side, and he gets a penalty for the team, all from a mistake because of the man marking. Now, we've seen the clips. Now, the trick is to identify who that guy is. As teams use lots of formations, the easiest thing is to say that it's the lowest midfielder. I am going to show you how to find him in some formations, but you will need to do a bit of work before each game. If you are an FM player who does instant result games, it does work, but beware that the formation change during the game could mess this up. So we've got Sheffield United in the next game, and this is a good example for me to show you who we're going to choose as our marker and how we're going to find out who that player is going to mark. For this, we're going to use Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin has got really good attributes when it comes to marking. He's got aggression, he's got pace, he's got acceleration, teamwork, work rate, stamina. It also helps that if his tackling is okay, but he does only have 5, and his marking is not terrible. So how you do this, you go to Calvert-Lewin, you go to edit his instructions, and you want him to mark a specific player. Now, we've chosen Sander Berge to mark for the Sheffield United team. This is a pretty neat trick because we can see here that Sander Berge and John Fleck both play central midfielder. So, of course, you need to decide and find out who's going to play in the lower section of the midfield in comparison with both of these. So, if they use a lone defensive midfielder, it would be him getting the ball and him to mark. If they use 2 defensive midfielders or 2 or 3 centre mids, you need to do a bit of searching. So here we need to figure out either John Fleck or Sander Berge to mark. Let's have a look who's lower and who will be getting the ball from the centre backs. So we are on the match preview screen now, the most important screen that you're going to need. Now you can see at the top, you will have your opposition reports. So you want to go to overview. This is where we're going to find out if John Fleck or if Sander Berge played lower in this tactic. And you can see Sander Berge plays slightly lower than John Fleck, which is why we've chosen Sander Berge. So after you've decided that you're going to choose Sander Berge as the player you're going to man mark, we can look at the second page now in the analyst report. So some of the info you can get from this is you can maybe look at the positional heat map. This might give you an indication of who is the lowest out of the 2 midfielders, or the passing network might give you that information as well. Just remember, we are not looking to mark the guy who gets the most assists. We are looking to cut off the supply to him by taking out the link between defence and midfield. The final clue is to look at the 2 players in central midfield and see their role. If one of them is a DLP, it's probably him. One might have a role like a Mazzala who goes forward, so then it's not him. Other signs might be dictates play or comes deep. So if we look at John Fleck, you can see John Fleck is a Mazzala. Even though he is naturally a DLP, today is playing as a Mazzala, so that's not who we'd go for. Sander Berge is a DLP, and he is playing as a DLP today. If you do feel that this is really hard to find out, just start a game and watch the first 2 minutes of that game. That will show you easily enough who is sat and waiting for the ball from the defence. Normally, using a lone pressing forward to mark the deepest midfielder is enough, but the very top teams are exceptions. Liverpool and Man City have dangerous wingbacks, and here we also use our wingers to mark those if we are a lesser team. So let's go to the end of the season with Everton. I'm going to show you some important games where the man marking was kind of beneficial and it worked. So we're going to do that with Everton and Union Berlin now. So a great example here is where we beat Burnley 2-0 at Burnley, and just look what the man marking did. They only had 1 shot in the entire game. They had nothing on target. You can also see that Burnley didn't have a single key pass in that entire game. Another good example is Everton against Arsenal. We reduced them to only 4 shots as we was man marking Ceballos, and they actually substituted him in the 65th minute because he just couldn't do anything with the man marking that we was doing. Would you believe me if I told you we won the league with Union Berlin in the first season using man marking? Seriously, you guys have got to try this. I'm not messing about here. You have honestly got to give this a go because we actually won the league. I'm getting so excited. We won the league with Union Berlin. I'm going to show you some key games now with Berlin. So we reduced Hertha Berlin in a 6-1 win to 3 shots and only 2 on target. And you can see the player who was man marking, you can see we made them sub him in the 70th minute. Another good example is Werder Bremen away. We actually beat them 2-0. We reduced them to only 5 shots. And you can see again, we forced them to sub their central midfielder who was on Klassen a 6.5 average rating. Another good example is against Bayer Leverkusen. We beat them 2-0. We reduced them to 6 shots for the entire game. And you can see they only had 3 shots on target. The final one to show you now, you can see we beat Hoffenheim 5-0 away from home, reducing them to only 1 shot on target for the entire game. And their central midfielder, Geiger, also got substituted with a 6.6 average rating. But that's been the end to the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Something, again, a little bit different with a few more examples. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any questions, make sure you pop them in the comments or go to the FMSCOUT website and write on the guide comments. But we'll try and get back to you, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.